I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. During Senate floor remarks on Thursday, Senator Richard Blumenthal advocated for the Expanding Access to Family Planning Act. This legislation would double the amount of funding that goes to Title X family planning programs and reproductive health care services. Blumenthal called on Republicans to support the bill, saying if they, quote, truly care about supporting families, they can show it by supporting this measure. Here's more from the Connecticut Democrat.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm honored to appear with a group of my colleagues on behalf of the Expanding Access to Family Planning Act. We're here to talk about this essential measure in the post-Roe world. That's a phrase I never thought I would ever utter anywhere, not to mention on the floor of the United States Senate. But we are living in the post-Roe world where reproductive rights are under assault as never before, and critical reproductive health care services are more necessary and also are more at risk than ever before. That is why a consistent, strong source of funding for Title X family planning programs are absolutely critical and urgent. That's the purpose of the Expanding Access to Family Planning Act. What it means for the state of Connecticut is, in the past, $2.5 million in Title X funding, allowing patients, mostly women, 45,000 of them, critical access to comprehensive family planning and preventive health care services. What we're talking about here is not only family planning, but also testing and treatment for sexually transmitted diseases, life-saving cancer screenings, other essential health services, and they are all now at risk. What they need is the strong and consistent source of funding that this measure would provide. Doubling, literally almost doubling the number of dollars, but also guaranteeing over a 10-year period that clinics will receive this funding. In the state of Connecticut, most of this funding in the past has gone to Planned Parenthood of Southern New England. The Cornell Scott Hill Health Center has received some. They have done absolutely extraordinary work in delivering health services, particularly to women who are uninsured, women who are of lower incomes, and women who are younger, under 30. And that is the primary patient pool that needs these services. Let me be very blunt. If my Republican colleagues truly care about supporting families, they can show it by supporting this measure and funding Title X. In the past, since its inception, 50 years ago, it has been bipartisan because people agree that families ought to be a priority, that decisions about when and whether to have children are the most important that we make, that caring for families, and particularly prenatal care, screening for sexually transmitted diseases, cancer screening, these health services are vital to all of us, whether we are the patients or not, and that they save funding in the long run. Preventive health care is pound-wise, and it will save money. We know that the Supreme Court decision in Dodd strips women of a vitally important freedom and puts it in the hands of government bureaucrats, the decision about when and whether to have children. The least we can do now is to fund the reproductive health care services that will save lives and save futures. Dobbs has put women at risk. It has put reproductive health care in grave jeopardy. This measure is necessary to mitigate the effects of Dobbs, more necessary now than ever before. We'll never stop fighting for a woman's right to choose when and whether to have children. We will never stop fighting to protect a woman's right to access health care that is vital to her own and her children's health. In the face of mounting attacks on women's health, now is the time to strengthen Title X, and that's why we need this legislation. Passing the Expanding Access to Family Planning Act will strengthen our entire healthcare system. It is simply critical for this $500 million providing birth control, cancer screening, other kinds of testing and treatment to be passed. And if my Republican colleagues are serious about supporting families, they ought to be eager to join us. And I'm proud to be supporting this measure, and I'm eager to see it signed into law. I yield the floor.
Mr. President.